Well, there's a lot of scores for Spain, but I guess the highlight is that trust in business in Spain has decreased this year. In fact, trust in all industrial sectors in Spain this year has decreased. And that's probably not too surprising given the state of not just the Spanish economy but the European economy. But certainly if you look at the decline in trust in business in Spain, it's a higher single-digit decline than any other market in Europe. But the big story, I think, in the trust study this year isn't about any of the European markets, it's about America. Because always in Europe, trust has been quite low in business. We're sort of a sceptical region. You know, we've always believed that business is part of society, but society is important too. And in America, of course, it's been the other way around. But now this year, we've had a 20% drop in trust in business in America. And America looks like a European country in terms of business trust. So that's the big news, I think. Yeah, it's, I think most, well, certainly talking for Edelman, it's been fine for us now. You know, we've been growing fast over the last 4 or 5 years, but we have seen a flattening off of the growth. And in many of our markets now, we're flat. So, you know, last year in Germany, for example, we grew at 22%, and this year we've grown at 1.5%. We're flat in Spain. We've had organic growth about 8% in the UK. We had an acquisition in the UK as well, so 13%. But if I look over the next few months, pretty flat. And I would expect in some markets, if we're honest, that we'll see some slight declines. I don't think the PR industry can entirely escape what's happening economically. Acquisitions in Europe, we're not actively looking at the moment. I guess we might look again next year, but if it was, it would be in high growth markets, or it would be specialty offerings that we don't yet have. So the digital company in the UK was a good example. 3 years ago, we had no public affairs capability in France. We had an opportunity of buying a small boutique. We did that. So those sorts of things, I think, you know, maybe on a opportunistic basis in the future, but nothing planned at the moment. No, it's organic growth for us. I mean, I've been running Edelman Europe for 5 years, and I've never looked at an acquisition in Spain in the 5 years that I've been here. I know there was talk of it occasionally, but it was all news to me. It's a bit like Manchester City, you know, when we're supposed to be buying every player in the world, but we never are. I should say we were talking earlier, and I was confessing that I'm doing the PR for Manchester City now, which is my favourite team. So no, we're not looking at making an acquisition in Spain. You know, we've been here a long time. We've got a, you know, arguably now an almost market-leading office in Barcelona. We've got a good office here. If you see, we've just moved into new premises. We've got some good people. No, it's fine. We'll grow organically. I guess the percentage is about 50-50. You know, we're a global agency, so we do have global clients. And actually, you know, the Spanish offices of Edelman look very like the offices of Edelman in other markets in terms of client makeup. So, and you'd expect that, I think, more. So, you know, clients like Microsoft, clients like Unilever, those sorts of businesses are here as they are everywhere else, and we're very proud of that. But you know, multinational companies, you sometimes, if you're one of the global agencies, you have a right to talk to them because your colleagues work for them in another market. It doesn't mean you're going to win the business. You still have to win the business against local agencies. I think it already is for the better agencies. I mean, certainly a lot of clients come to us here and in other markets because we spent a lot of time trying to understand that space. It all goes back, in my view, to the empowered consumer. You know, this isn't just about technology. This is about what people are doing with technology. It's the social and cultural phenomenon of the empowered consumer which has changed communications. The agencies that understand that and can navigate that for their clients are the agencies that will win. It's a very difficult question to answer. You know, I think I would be naive to say that, you know, a year from now we wouldn't have cut anybody. I've already told you that we're flat and we expect to decline. So I would expect at some stage in some markets we will have to do that. We're a private company at Edelman, and that does give us some advantages. You know, we don't have to answer to shareholders on Wall Street or anywhere else. You know, all of the shareholders are in the business. It's the family and the senior management of the company. Myself, Blanca, you know, we're shareholders of the company. So if we decide to take less profit, we can do that if we think it's going to last a year or two. And I'm not saying we won't lay off people, we probably will, but we'll probably lay off less people than our competitors. And what we discovered in the last recession of 2001 was that because we laid off less people, because we were prepared to take less profit, when the upturn came, that's really when Edelman really grew, because we had the people in place. So I guess competitively we view it as an advantage. In terms of trading and running the businesses, it's really quite tough at the moment. You know, we're not quite there yet. Well, you know, as and when that happens, it could be anywhere. You know, Spain's no different to anywhere else. You know, the economic trading conditions are pretty tough in Spain at the moment, but they're tough for us in Ireland, they're tough for us in Sweden, they're tough for us in Holland, they're tough everywhere. So, no, I'm not going to tell you we are going to lay people off. I'm not going to tell you we aren't going to lay people off. I'm going to tell you that we're running a business, you know, and we'll hang on to as many of our good people for as long as we can. But, you know, ultimately, you know, it depends on how good the business does.